last 100 years, our relationship with food has changed dramatically. Today, if we want fresh ingredients, we just pop to the local supermarket. But it was only a few generations ago that people regularly turned to the edibles on their doorstep. And all these natural finds would now be considered superfoods because of their associated health benefits. But back then, they didn't come with the hefty price tag. The good news is that wild food is still everywhere, on the beach, at the bottom of your garden, even on the roadside. It's delicious, it's packed full of nutrients, and best of all, it's free. You just need to know what you're looking for. We're here in County Cork, Ireland, where all year round, Mother Nature's larder is bursting with flavoursome, versatile produce. And to help me identify which treasures this region has to offer is Britain's very own foraging expert, Roger Phillips. With over 20 books published on the subject, he's dedicated his life to sharing his incredible knowledge, amassing millions of followers along the way, and has been instrumental in putting wild food back on the menu. Roger.
Rachel, hi, great to see you.
Great to see you too. Roger, you really are the modern day original forager.
Now you're embarrassing me.
No, you are.
Well,
I've had your mushroom book for, I'd say, nearly 30 years.
I mean, it's over 30 years ago I wrote my wild food book. And now I think it's time for another look at it. And I now think of them as super wild foods.
So, what have we got here?
Yeah, let me show. It's a wonder plant. It's sea beet. It has an enormous strong root that goes down. It grows all along the coastal areas right throughout the British Isles. Very common, very easy to find, and it's absolutely delicious. But the important thing is it's a parent of beetroot. This is the plant from which beetroot has been developed.
Oh.
Sugar beet has been developed from this. The actual plant can be grown to form Swiss chard. So it's a parent of all these things. I mean, it is all those things.
Wow, amazing.
The same thing. Yeah. Apart from all the sort of wonderful history of it, it's terrifically good for health. It contains a high quantity of magnesium, and that's very good for relaxing the heart muscles. It's an anti-stress plant. Oh, and look how important stress is in the modern life. That's right.
Great. Well, I think Darina would be delighted if we pick some of this. Okay. Fantastic.
Right, let's go for it. Okay, Rachel. This is the sort of area I've been hoping to find, because these sort of wood edges and sort of lighter areas, the edge of wood, are ideal places for wild garlic.
Great, I love wild garlic.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Right, here we go, miles. Or loads and loads of it. Are we going to collect some for?
Absolutely, I'll get some of the leaves. I love leaves.
Okay, I'll collect some flowers. This wild garlic is actually the best of the whole onion family for blood conditions, for thinning the blood. Mm-hmm. And all onions do that, but wild garlic has the perfect chemicals for doing that. Fantastic.
Look at that, gorgeous.
Yep, leaves, flowers, fantastic.
Are we going to pick some of the other one, the three-cornered leek?
Yeah, this one isn't nearly as traditional, but it's also gorgeous. I actually love this one in salads.
It's lovely. You find this more than in woodlands. You find it more in the ditches of roads in Ireland.
Yeah.
They look like white bluebells, don't they?
Yeah, they look like white bluebells, and the way you tell the difference is it's three-cornered.
Yes.
It's called three-cornered leek. It has triangular stems. So.
Okay.
Enough? Yeah.
Great.
Okay, let's see what else we can find. Primroses here.
Lovely. They're so pretty. I might pick a few of these because they make everything look pretty.
Oh yeah, that would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah. as long as you don't take the root.
Yeah, don't dig up the plant and ruin the poor old environment.
Oh, and look, here's some little violets. Should I get a couple of
you've
those?
got violets here too?
They're violets, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Should
I just take a few? They're so pretty. Look.
The violets are so pretty, aren't they? Yep. Elderflowers, one of the most important and common plants, really.
It's early, isn't it? Middle of May.
It's just the beginning. I mean, look, you see, this isn't out, that's out.
Love it.
Yeah, that amazing strong smell. I always used it for making what we called elderflower champagne, which you're not allowed to say anymore. Real thing about it is it has this natural yeast. You just bung it in some water and sugar. A couple of days later, it starts to go. It actually is a terrifically helpful plant. It contains antiviral properties, antibacterial properties, and scientists are working on it at the moment to see if it can be used to solve problems that you get in hospital like MRSA.
Really?
It's incredibly important. Super plant.
Wow.
Okay. Well, it's early in the year for it. It probably normally would be in full flower at the end of May.
Yeah.
But let's take it anyway. We can add it to our basket.
Great. Now, look what we have, Darina.
Hi, you've been foraging. Busy. What did
Loads
you
of
get?
garlic.
Yeah?
Yep. Elderflowers, primroses, and the king of them all, the sea beet.
You've been down at the beach as well as everywhere
Yeah.
We've been everywhere.
Gorgeous things. We have been everywhere.
So, now, let's see, can we make lunch out of this? Well, I could make a wild garlic soup, or I could actually make a wild garlic pesto to go on the soup. So maybe we could make some sea beet soup. Would that be good?
Yeah.
That would be very
Delicious.
good. And then we could, I might use the wild garlic to make a wild garlic pesto.
Yes,
And we'll just let over a bit of pasta, okay?
Yep.
Do we like the sound of that?
Sounds like a great lunch.
To put your feet up for a while. And Rachel and I will cook up a little forage feast for you.
Sounds
How about
fantastic. I can't wait.
that? So we'll make this like any of our other soups with a cup of chopped potato, a cup of chopped onion and the butter. So while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and prepare the sea spinach or sea beet or whatever you like to call it. So this is a good bit tougher actually than ordinary garden spinach. So you really need to pull out the stalks. So normally you just do it like this, pull them down.
And of course you could use nettles in this soup as well, can't you?
Absolutely, or watercress. So we'll just gather this up and chop them. Chop it fairly finely because I don't want it to cook for too long because I want to keep that nice bright green colour as well. So the other thing that we have on there is actually we just put on this stock and the milk to come to the boil because I want to add that in. Because the quicker the soup is made, the fresher it's going to taste.
Yes, okay.
So we're going to sweat that for a few minutes.
I'll cover this. I've seasoned it with salt and pepper, which is really important. Cover a paper lid, which we normally save all our butter wrappers, don't we? And then lid on. Perfect.
So the kind of formula here is 1 cup of chopped onion, 1 cup of chopped potato, 3 cups of sea spinach and 5 cups of stock, or a mixture of stock and milk. And actually I usually put on the stock and milk earlier so that it's actually boiling, because the faster this soup is made, the fresher it's going to taste. So this one's sweated out nicely. So
that's good.
At this stage, I think what we can do is, rather than putting the sea spinach in, because if I put that in now, it would be overcooked and get a bit brown. So let's add
Put it in.
a mixture of chicken stock and whole milk here. But actually, you could use all this chicken stock if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring this back to the boil really fast until the potato and onion are absolutely soft, and then I'll shoot all of this in and cook it for just a couple of minutes. Make sure that it's actually, the potato is actually soft, fully soft. And at this stage, I can add in all of the sea spinach, like that, and then we'll soup up the heat, bring it back to the boil, and this shouldn't take long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. So could you be getting the a blender while we're ready.
Yeah.
And actually we have the option, we can serve it actually as a sort of broth with all the bits in it, or we could blend it. And then blend it will be sort of silkier, but it's really nice both ways actually. The faster this cooks, the fresher it's going to taste, and the greener it's going to be as well.
Okay, this looks like it's very ready, doesn't it?
Just have a little taste of just to make sure it's tender.
Yeah, lovely.
Very good.
Okay.
I'm going to put about half in.
Okay.
There we are. Pour it in here. Let's serve it 2 ways. Shall I also love it with the bits in it. So if somebody wants more of a brothy thing, that works really, really well. So pop that last little bit in there. So that's really nice. And with this one, put a ladle full of that beautiful. So why don't we use some of the wild garlic flowers? We could do both.
Gorgeous.
And then it's actually will be sea spinach and wild garlic. Roger has worked up a good appetite by now. Just sprinkled on the top like that.
Yum, yum.
Yay!
Brilliant.
So next, pasta with wild garlic pesto.
Delicious.
Good, good, good. So the first thing I was supposed to do is put on the pasta. So
Then some salt.
Lots of water, a great big pot of water, and then a really nice bit of salt as well. And pop that in, give it a little stir. Good, good, good. So now it's so easy to make this wild garlic pesto, and if the wild garlic are these are the wide leaves, so just snip off the end off like that, and we'll take off the stalks, and then this we can just literally. The rest is all ready. Just weigh it actually after. It's good to weigh it after because the stalks weigh quite heavy. After the stalks have been taken off. So
it's always the leaves, isn't it, that we use for the pesto, not the flowers?
It's always the leaves we use for this one, yeah, not the flowers, exactly. Then nice little bit of crushed garlic, add that in.
For an extra garlic kick?
For extra garlic kick. I think cashew nuts work really well as well, so we'll add those in. And a pinch of salt. And then, now of course if you don't have a food processor, you could do this in a pestle and mortar as well, or you could just chop it up. And I'm going to add in some Parmesan cheese. The coulis from West Cork is also lovely. So pop the lid back on again. And I'm just going to pour in I'm actually using extra virgin olive oil here. I know that's a little bit of an extravagance, but it's just so delicious. And so I'm just going to bring it down from the sides again like that. And the amount of oil you use depends on whether or not you want to be able to drizzle it over something or else have it be a little bit thicker. So now, people go crazy for this. People are literally waiting for the new season for the wild garlic pesto.
Cover it in olive oil.
Yeah, so what I might do is I might pour a little in here.
Looks so good, doesn't it?
And then if you want to just pour a little layer of olive oil over the top just to seal it from the air, and then it'll keep really well. So a little teensy bit, just check to see whether or not it's cooked or not. So oops, we'll take out a little piece like that. That's good. It's got a tiny little bite in it, so I think it's good to strain it off now. And then we'll toss it in some parsley pesto. Okay, so now let's put some of this. Now, not too much, because this is actually, it's got tons of lovely flavour, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe another, the tongues are just a really nice thing to do it with. So pop it on here. Oh, how beautiful is that? If you like, drizzle another little bit over the top. And then let's put some wild garlic flowers over this as well. So there's no question or doubt what it is.
Yeah.
So how pretty is that? So here here's the Carrageen, and this is actually a little seaweed that grows on those tiny little rocks, and they harvest it at the spring tides because that's when the tide is furthest out. And Carrageen actually means little rock in Gaelic, like, so it's dry like that. So the first thing we have to do is just to reconstitute it. So I've got this little bowl here, and I'm just going to reconstitute it, but measuring, the whole trick with this is to use little enough because it's a natural gelatine, and if you use too much it's like India rubber, and that really affects the flavour as well as the texture. So my mother-in-law Myrtle always used to say to me, just enough Carrageen, it's very light, so just about enough that would fill in a semi-closed fist. So I'm going to even pull off a little bit of that. So that's plenty, and it's very hard to weigh that because it's actually so light. Exactly. So I'm just going to put a little cold water in this, and we'd leave this then just for about 5 or 6 minutes just to reconstitute, but I've already got one ready there. So look, that's what it will look like then. So it swells up, and you can see the sort of lovely, isn't it pretty? It's just lovely actually. So I'm going to make Carrageen moss pudding, and again, this is Myrtle's recipe, and I actually think this is the very best recipe for Carrageen. So we'll turn this on because it's lovely and light and fluffy.
Yeah.
So this is what all your babes, my babes, were all weaned onto this. Delicious. And it's such an amazingly nourishing food because it's got tons of iodine and all sorts of trace elements in it. So now, I've got 1.5 pints of a full milk, whole milk. This is actually the Jersey milk from the farm here. And then I'm just going to put the Carrageen moss in there. Seeing as how Roger and yourself have been foraging, I'm going to put some elderflowers into it.
Gorgeous.
So this will give it a lovely haunting sort of lemony flavour. So important to put the elderflowers or whatever flavouring you're adding in into the cold milk, because that is, as it warms up, that will draw out the flavour of the elderflowers. Brilliant. So we have, this one has been simmering 20 minutes now, so why don't we swap the pots like that. Good. And you're in charge of making sure that doesn't boil over, okay? Great. So now, at this point, I'm just going to separate an egg.
There you go.
Lovely, to enrich it. So I'm just going to crack an egg. We'll put the egg white in here, and then we'll whip this up. And I'll fold that in, it'll make it lovely and light and fluffy. And I'm just going to put a sort of a tablespoon of sugar. That's just a huge dessert spoon. So we'll just whisk the two of those together. And then I'm going to ask you if you could just pour some of the, you see at this stage now, the Carrageen is going to be all gloopy.
Yeah, it's given its gelatine.
The gelatin. It's good to have two people doing this actually, because it's hard, you have to whisk quite fast in the beginning, otherwise what happens is it can actually kind of scramble a little bit on you. So now, just push the Carrageen through like that. You see the way it's kind of thick and gloopy?
Lovely.
And that's the natural gelatine in it. So one has to be careful just not to push the whole thing through in the beginning, because it's good to test it. So actually I've got a cold plate in the freezer there.
Oh, perfect, I get that.
And I'll just show a great way that Myrtle showed me how to test this. So just to test for a set, because it's lovely if it's just kind of light and wobbly. So I'll pop that to the side for a moment. I'll take a little bit off and then just put that on. And if the plate's very cold, oftentimes it sets pretty quickly. So you can see the texture, look, at sort of almost sliding off the plate. So I think this is really good because it's sort of set, but still sort of nice and gloopy. So that's terrific. Now, if it wasn't set enough, what I would do is I'd sort of dip this in and get a bit more and then push more through, but that's absolutely fine. So just to make it even lighter, what I'm going to do is whip the egg white. I don't get it too terribly stiff with this, but just want a kind of a fluffy top, more or less. Is there a ladle around anywhere there? So that
there's a ladle here.
Yeah, that's good. So what I'm going to do is just put that on. We'll get the last bit out. I'm such an old granny, I'm a great one for scraping out the bowls to make sure there's nothing left behind. And
you trained us all to be like that too.
So actually, often I might fold in the egg white, but with this I love to just kind of fluff in the egg white. So it's got a kind of fluffy top on it like that. And now, of course, we can fill a couple of little individual bowls, or we could do one large family style bowl. So, and we'll serve this with some soft brown sugar and softly whipped cream.
I love it like that. It's really good with rhubarb as well, isn't it?
Yeah, gorgeous rhubarb. And we've also actually flavoured it with some of that sweet geranium, which is also gives it another hauntingly lemon flavour. So there we are. And it's incredibly good for your chest. It's got lots of iodine, lots of trace elements. Plus, this is, I think, even more interesting, that basically it also makes your metabolism work to its optimum. So you can get extra strength and not put on weight.
I need more.
And good news, good news, very good news, yeah.
Okay, so shall I crystallise the flowers then?
Yeah, that would be
Scattering
so
on
nice.
top. I have some sugar here, caster sugar, and a little bit of egg white that I've just kind of whisked up a little bit just to break it up. And this is the really important thing, isn't it?
A little child's paintbrush.
A little paintbrush.
A very fine one.
And some parchment paper on a tray. And then the primrose rose, really pretty, aren't they? Crystallised.
But this is essentially a way of preserving them, isn't it? Because they will keep literally for months, actually, because they have to be completely covered with caster, don't they now?
Yes.
If there's any little bit, it sort of starts to wilt.
And I'm being quite careful not to be over generous with the egg white as well, because the other way they get quite soggy. And then pop it in like that, and the sugar. It looks so pretty as well, crystallizing, you know, single rose petals and things like that, doesn't it? Scattered over
and
cake.
The little violets, of course.
Yeah, they'll be lovely. I'll do a couple of those.
Yeah.
So I've shaken off the excess sugar, and then actually I think a good tip that you told me is to lay them flat down like this, and then they keep that shape.
Yes.
Because of course as they dry they'll get lovely and crisp, and they hold their lovely shape. Shall I do? I'll do a couple of primroses.
Do a little
and maybe a violet
as well.
like
Maybe there's a little violet. That one's lovely. So this is nicely set. Oh, now this is the exciting bit. And actually I've also got some sweet Sicily here. This is another thing, of course, that grows in the wild, but I have it in the garden. But wonderful, I love this.
It's fern-like, isn't it?
Fern-like, and
gorgeous.
it's got a lovely sort of licoricey taste. So you might put a couple of those bits on there. And how about putting on some
Primroses or violets?
Well, why don't we have the lot? There we are.
Yeah,
good. I'll do another one of them here.
And a couple more.
And can I take one of those little fellas?
Absolutely.
I'm going to take it for this one here. And oh, how cute is that? I think Roger might be impressed. What do you think? Do you think we could? That's good.
Great. Well, I've had my feet up waiting for this, and I'm excited to get a good taste of it.
Good. Because there are all those vitamins and minerals and trace elements in it as well.
Absolutely. It's superfood.
Actually, that's one of the, what I often think it's one of the most important things about forage foods is they haven't been in any way tampered with. So they have all their
They're all organic.
vitamins and minerals and trace elements and a lot of the things that are missing from our mass-produced food now.
That's it.
Now some pasta with wild garlic pesto. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Decorate it with
I'm going to put another tiny little bit on top like that. And then I can sprinkle. And yes, we have wild garlic flowers on top as well.
Yeah.
I leave that little bit just in case you want a second helping.
Oh, absolutely scrummy.
Isn't that so good? It really is.
Yeah. Hit me with that.
Would you like a little bit? Would you like some pesto?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Another little bit?
No, I'm fine, I think. Yep. And so quick and easy that now. Takes a couple of minutes to make the wild garlic pesto.
Please. Thank you, darling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darina, would you like some of your gorgeous elderflower infused Carrageen
I
moss
certainly
pudding?
would.
Roger.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And how about, would you be partial to a little bit of elderflower?
I would.
cream?
I might get shot, but I am partial to it.
Good. Hey, how delicious is this?
That's really good.
Yum,
It's just a really
yum.
nice set, isn't it? That'll be what.
Do we like that, Roger?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, absolutely amazing. Ireland altogether is amazing. Now we're going to go to England and see what we can find.
I'm very excited about that. That's our
I
next
think
stop.
it's Dorset we're going.
Great.